views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Shirt, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy it hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Welcome back, everybody, this week to Doing It with Styles. I'm John Styles, but you know that. That's why you keep coming back. Today I've got a very, very special person as a guest. I talk about people who do it with styles. Sheryl Green is one of those people. She is an author, a speaker, an animal rescue person, among other things. What other things?
Penguin keeper.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Keeper of the magic penguin. This penguin here, what's it been now, 3 years, 4 years?
I think 3, yeah.
Yeah. This was a gift from a friend of mine in Melbourne, Australia. Right off the coast of Australia, there is a small island that's loaded with penguins. And this is the actual size of the penguins there. They're just little bitty things. And it was right after your accident, wasn't it?
It was before. Oh, yeah, it was after the accident.
It was right after the accident. And
right.
So I felt that I was having a hard time taking care of this little guy. And so I gave him to Sheryl so that he would keep her safe.
And he has. He's done a great job.
And so she brought him back to say hello. And he wants to say hello to Stella Down Under and Wild Wolf. Hello, guys. So more about him some other time. All right. Nice to see you, buddy. So you have a new book.
I do.
Is this the third or fourth?
This is the fourth one.
Wow. So you've been busy. When did this come out?
This just came out last month.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it called?
It is called Do Good to Do Better.
Do Good to Do Better?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It is the small business guide to growing your business by helping nonprofits.
Wow.
I like the short titles.
Right.
Yeah.
We had discussed this some time back that you were working on that. So.
Yeah.
And that is the focus of the book, is how you can build your business by helping nonprofits.
Yeah, as I was writing that other book on storytelling, I kind of came across that cause marketing story, and it seemed like the most important thing in the book to talk about, so it got its own book.
And you do a lot of that. You work with a lot of the rescues in town, a lot of specifically with Hearts Alive over on Rainbow, right? They're still over there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't they expand?
Yeah, we've got a second space now in the same row, and it's oldies but goodies.
Oh.
So it's a senior adoption center and a boutique thrift store.
Have you been over to the Treasured Cat Cafe?
Not yet. We should be doing this here. We could have coffee.
I had one of their board members here a couple months ago, and I went over there because it's like just 5 minutes from my house.
Right.
And it's on Rancho, and it's just Alexander Jones, right in that area. It's right behind Pep Boys. So it's off of the beaten path. You have to go behind Pep Boys to find it. It is the coolest place.
I love it.
And yeah, you would. You just, they've got older cats and younger cats, and they keep the older ones separated from the younger ones and in different rooms. And but the place itself is phenomenal in that they receive pet food and litter and things like that in bulk. That's donated, or I think they pay like 12 cents a pound or something like that for it. And then they distribute that to all of the rescues, not all of them, but the registered 501c3 rescues in town. And so they have this whole warehouse in the back full of dog food and cat food and litter and all that stuff. It's really great.
Yeah.
And what they do is they have like a shelter every month will bring in their cats.
Okay.
And they will stay there for the month and to get adopted. It's to get them out of the shelter and get them adopted and stuff like that.
Okay.
They've got a huge, a really fantastic adoption rate.
I That's awesome.
And it's not really a cafe. It's a cafe in the sense that you can go in and get some coffee and cookies.
Right.
And then the cats are in this room and in this room, and they come out and wander around. But you have to get over there. You'll fall in love with the place. The people over there are just like all of the rescues,
Yeah.
you know, and they're just awesome. So anyway, let's talk about the book here. So this just came out last month.
Yes. Yeah.
What is the most important thing in that book that you would like business owners to know?
I want business owners to know that you can actually do better, build your business stronger, thrive more, because you're standing for a cause and because you're helping a nonprofit.
Okay, can you be a little more specific?
No, I'm just kidding. You know,
That's why I like having you on.
Because I'm a smartass.
Yeah.
For years, corporations have been doing this.
Right.
You know, they've been doing these programs where when you purchase from them, they support a cause.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they donate money to a nonprofit. And up until a few years ago, I don't think small businesses realized that this was an option for them.
Because like ourselves here, I mean, we really don't have a lot of money. I mean, we're making enough to keep the doors open and keep going.
Right.
But I mean, the thing that we can offer and we do offer is airtime.
Yes.
Or advertisements or shooting little videos. And so, I mean, it's not, it helps the nonprofit and it helps the rescue or whoever we happen to be dealing with. And it helps us because it gets the word out.
Exactly.
And it's, you know, and it feels good going home knowing that you've done something to help someone or something that can't help themselves.
Right.
So.
And that's one of the big things that people don't realize. You know, they think, well, I don't have the money to donate.
Right.
But it's not just money. You know, I talk about time, treasure, and talent in the book. And it's what do you have to offer? You know, one of the steps that you can take is doing kind of an audit of your business. And that's seeing what do you have to offer a nonprofit?
Okay.
Do you have video space?
Right.
Do you have, you know, attorneys? Do you have accountants? Do you have litter?
Right.
You know, whatever that is that your business specializes in, how can that help a nonprofit? And like I said, it's not always money. It's not even always stuff. Sometimes it's just volunteer hours or spreading awareness for a cause.
Well, I know after we had Chucky in from Treasured Cats, you know, we put the show out, and like within a couple of weeks, man, people started going to the place.
Yeah.
And because what I did was, since I live so close, I stuck a camera on my dashboard and showed a video of driving down Rancho, turning in and driving around to the back and up to the front, so people could see how to get there.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, and I try to get over there. Haven't been over there in a while because of this, but it's just, you know, some of us are very fortunate from time to time, some not so fortunate, but to be able to give something back and to share, you know, I mean, what other reason are we here for?
That's the opening quotes in my book.
Really?
The purpose of this life is to live a life of purpose.
Wow.
Not mine, that was Wookiee food.
Now I'm going to have to read it.
You really ought to. It's funny. If you like me, you'll like that.
Yeah, it's due, and I'm sure it is. So what made you start writing and speaking? I mean, when I first met you, which is a while back now, you were pretty shy and introverted and just starting to, hey, what's going on out there?
Yeah. It has definitely been a journey. What made me start writing all the way in the beginning was I started writing fiction, and I had the opportunity to kill the people that I didn't like. So I wrote.
I'm going to try that.
I wrote mysteries, you know, serial killer novels, and I just took out the people that I didn't want to deal with in real life. But you know, as I've
have you published any of those, or do you still have them, or?
I still have them. I think excuse me. I commit that 2020 I will publish the first book I ever wrote.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It will happen. I was thinking about it this year, but it's just been between the time.
I understand.
You don't realize how much time marketing takes. Never mind the writing part. The marketing will kill you.
Yeah, it's writing the book's easy. It's selling it that's the hard part, huh? Oh, good.
But I started speaking because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help people just enjoy their lives more. You know, we've discussed in the past, I've been through a really difficult divorce and, you know, really hard depression and all of that, and people are hurting right now.
Oh, big time.
So much.
And the division that's between us, and I don't know how long it's going to take to heal that. And it breaks my heart.
And I think that's why part of it's so powerful to stand behind a cause.
Yeah.
Because it unites people and it attracts those people to you who are like-minded and who care about something.
Right.
So it's just super powerful.
Do you know Christy Santoro?
I know the name.
Tommy Cat Foundation? Mm-mm. Okay. Christy and her husband, they have a bunch of cats.
Okay. 3, but it seems like more.
Yeah, it's a lot more. And they take in cats who are blind or crippled or, you know, have some deformities or something like that.
Right.
And they, I don't know how they do it. You know, I mean, every time I see them, every time I talk to them, every time they come in here, it just, I mean, these people have so much love in their heart and are doing something that I never could do. Yeah. I would be crying every single day. I mean, it just seems like every week one of the cats that they've had for a while has passed. Right. And they just keep going and they keep going and they keep taking more and they keep helping and anyway, so getting back to your book.
No, you know what? It's actually a great point because there is something called compassion collapse or collapse of compassion, something like that, where basically when we are faced with such overwhelming sorrow, so many, you know, horrible experiences, so many animals passing, so many homeless people on the street, we start, hold my calls please, we start to shut down.
Right.
And, you know, we kind of build up this hard shell. And
No, go ahead. I'm this is important, but I'm paying attention.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
We build up this hard shell and, you know, like we can't even look at that. We don't see what's going on and we ignore it. And when a business gets involved, when they offer, and I use in the book, I use Wendys as an example, not a small business, but I went through the drive-through and they offered me, it was $1 for a sheet of coupons for Frosties, and it supported childhood cancer. Right. Not my cause, obviously a very worthy one, just not the one that I you know, work with. But it was an easy way to handle something. It was an easy way for me to say, you know what, I could do something to help. Right. Even though
and it's only $1.
Exactly. Right. Even though I'm not in the hospitals and I'm not going and cheering kids up and doing all of this stuff that many amazing people are, it's a very simple way to help. And part of the wonder of, you know, this, what I teach in this book and cause marketing in general is really that you give people a way to be a hero. You give your customers a way to contribute.
I like that. That's awesome. So, yeah. That is awesome. Gives me some ideas.
Good.
You know, because it's and I know this about you for a fact, is that you're always wondering, what else can I do? Yeah. You know, you're always doing something good and you're always doing something, you know, to help. And I know you're always going, what else can I do? You know, what else can I do? And there's so many people, I've been fortunate enough to know people like that. And it just, you know, it makes me guilty sometimes because I thought, holy crap, this person's doing this and this and this and this and this, and all I'm doing is this, you know.
You do what you can. And if everybody did something, we'd be a lot further along.
Yeah, that's true.
So, that's true. You know, rather than getting paralyzed by the, I can't donate $1 million or I can't go into the shelters and pull animals, what can you do?
There's a group that I had on here not too long ago called the Las Vegas Avengers.
Okay.
and they are, they're cosplayers. They dress up in costumes like the Avengers, and they go to the hospitals and visit kids, and and they don't do anything for money. Everything is voluntary.
Okay.
All of the participants are volunteers. I mean, they collect some money to buy supplies.
Right.
They go into the hospitals and they got coloring books and toys and things like that for the kids, and and it's just and I had there was 5 or 6 of them in here, and it's just you can't help but smile around them. Because when you see that much, I know this sounds like foo-foo stuff, but when you get that much positive energy in one place, and to see them working together as a group, and for a common cause, they all have jobs, they all work full-time, and this is something that they do in their off time, and it's it's a business, but that's all they do is give back. So.
Okay, so I want to just tackle one thing.
Yeah, please. Any.
What I do.
That's why you're here.
What I do really dig into in here is I don't like the term giving back.
Giving back.
Right.
Okay.
Because think about it. When you're a little kid, giving back is Tommy stole your little Power Ranger or whatever you played with as a kid. Give it back.
I got it.
So that concept, when we talk about that as business owners, makes it sound like we are taking something not due to us from the community.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but in my business, I give a service back for the money that I make.
Yeah, I work hard for my money.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not taking advantage of anyone,
Right.
So I either giving or giving forward.
That's another, the giving forward or paying forward is I love that concept, and I've been on the receiving end of that in my life a number of times.
Yep.
And so you always feel, and I don't want to use the word obligation, but it's like almost a real desire to give something back to somebody that can't give themselves something,
Right.
And without, my other kind of philosophy is, if you go around telling people that you're doing all this good stuff, that's your reward. That's why you're doing it, is so you can tell people. Okay. No, I'm serious. You should be, if you're donating or whatever, it should be, okay, I did it, shut up, that's it.
Okay.
You don't have to go, hey, guess what I gave this month, and hey, I gave this much to charity, and I did this, and I did that.
Okay, so I'm gonna just slap that out of the way.
Okay.
Because when it
I thought I was doing the right thing.
I know, right? But when it comes to a business, so I'm.
Wait. A business is a different story, but go ahead.
Okay. So when it comes to a business, you do something for, what's your PAPI Foundation?
Yeah.
Is that the one you do the most for? Okay. So you do something for PAPI Foundation, and then you don't tell anyone. Okay, PAPI Foundation still got the video or whatever you happen to volunteer time. Fantastic. But they didn't get the awareness from all of your audience, your followers.
Yeah, but that's different, and I agree with that. Absolutely. As a business, if we're doing something like that, we're doing it so that not to so much to get the recognition, but to tell people, hey, you could be doing this too, or you should be doing this too. It's like, come on, we can all do this. Now, what I'm talking about is on a personal level.
Okay.
Whatever I donate or the time that I do, if and when I ever do nice things for people, I'm not doing it for the pat on the back. I'm not doing it, I'm doing it because, actually for selfish reasons, because it makes me feel good.
Exactly.
And I can go away and say, wow, I helped that person, whether they know it or not. They benefited from this, and so I don't know. It's
I hear what you're saying, and if you talked
and
about
I'm still
it,
wrong.
It's not wrong or right. That's one of the biggest things that I come up against is, well, I don't do it for the attention. Okay, but don't do it for the attention. Do it because it's the right thing to do.
Right. Okay.
But if you talk about it, more people might do it.
Okay. Good point.
If you post on your personal Facebook, hey, just hung out at the PAPI Foundation, look at these cats, selfie.
Oh yeah, but see, that's but I'm not going to tell them, hey, I just donated $500 to the PAPI Foundation.
Right.
You know,
right.
Or you can say I made a donation. You know, you guys, you know, here's a challenge. I made one, you make one too.
Yeah.
Something
I like the challenge. Okay. I was actually reading something today that said always have a call to action. And on your social media, you know, you can have these debates and all of that, but at the end of it, say, hey, go donate, go volunteer, and go do this.
That's one of the things that, talking about social media, that I think is a negative about social media, because just by saying, we should do this.
Social media has negatives?
We should do this. And think that you're doing something. You're not.
Yes.
Get out there and do it. You know?
Yeah.
Tell people, hey, let's go do this, or let's go do that, or you know, hey, let's all go down to the PAPI Foundation, or let's all go down to Hearts Alive, or let's all go do this. You know, but get out there and do it.
Yes.
Don't just say, hey, yeah, we should do this, and stick up for this, and you know,
exactly.
vote for this. No, get out there and vote, and drag some of your friends along with you. So anyway, sorry.
I love it. No.
Sorry, guys. I got started. Yeah, so we're here to talk about Sheryl's book.
And we are. That's all good.
And so, what was the hardest thing about writing this book for you?
You know, the hardest thing I think with writing any nonfiction book is tackling that inner, am I really an expert? Yes, I have experience, you know, with the rescue. Yes, I've done every bit of research that I could possibly do. That's not true. I did a ton of research. But you know, you open up a book and say like, oh, this guy's been in the field for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, he's been helping businesses his entire career. And what do I have to bring to this? And I really had to stop myself a couple of times and say, you know what? If one dog gets a home, if one kid gets a pair of shoes, and I want to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
If one, you know, homeless person gets a warm meal, it was worth me writing this book and overcoming my own inner head crap.
Right.
So, I think that's always the hardest. That like, am I really the expert on the subject?
But see, I think that's what makes that's what makes you a good, whether writer or a person to share your ideas, because you are questioning. You're not saying, I know everything there is to know. You folks, listen to me.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of self-help books out there. Yes. Okay. So and I majored in psych in college. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there are people or philosophies that speak to me, and others don't. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't mean that the people over here who wrote this stuff or don't know what they're doing or aren't any good. Mm-hmm. It's just that wasn't for me.
Right. Didn't resonate.
That book, that philosophy or whatever, it wasn't for me. This one is. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, just like religions. I mean, I hate to start on religions, but you
just
know,
cover the penguin's ears.
Yeah.
So.
how many of them are there out there?
Right.
And we all gravitate, or we find one that has meaning to us.
Yeah.
And we internalize it. And I think that's what makes it value. And that's where you have experience that may just click something in me.
Right.
You know, and even when we're just talking, or you know, you're sitting with your friends or whatever, and they say, oh, hey, I went and did this, and this, and you go, oh my God, now I know how to do this, you know, or I know where to get my car fixed now because you had this experience. And so don't stop doing what you're doing, because from what I've read on some of your previous stuff, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's just my opinion. No. I just the fact that you have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people out there? I got a friend that I've had since the 5th grade. We've been friends. Mm-hmm. We joined the Marine Corps together, and you know, we've been friends for 100 years. And he keeps saying, you know, I want to write a book about some of our experiences when we were kids and growing up in Hollywood and blah 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 blah. And I keep saying, okay, do it.
Yeah.
You know. And I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm going to do this. You know, he's been saying that for 10 years.
Right.
And the last time when he said it, I said, all right, Phil, listen, you write the first chapter, I'll write the second. You write the third, I'll write the fourth. but you got to write that first one.
Right.
And so he still hasn't done it.
Yeah.
So I commend you.
Thank you.
That you just, I mean, you weren't an English major, were you?
I wasn't. I was a psychology major.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, forensic psychology master's degree.
I was experimental psych.
There you go. That
Yeah.
might be more useful than forensics.
Oh, well, I found it more fascinating and more
Right.
interesting because I got exposed to, do you know what phrenology is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was exposed to, this is when I was first starting school, I was exposed to a whatever you want to call it, called personology.
Okay.
Which is the study of personality traits as depicted by your facial features, your body structure. For example, if you put your leg up like this and
Okay.
your knee is below your shoulder,
Right.
most of your personality traits came from your mother.
Oh, I've got heels on,
Yeah,
but let's
that's
pretend
okay.
I
You
don't.
can see your knee is below there, so most
Okay.
of your personality traits and things came from your mother's side of the family.
Interesting.
Okay. Now I can tell you. I'll tell you a little bit about you. Okay.
Okay.
You are just a little bit what they call credulous.
Okay.
You tend to take people at face value when you first meet them. You're not a skeptical person. You're kind of an open. You are a generous person, but you are also very concise with your words. You don't use a lot of words to say some of the things that you mean.
Mm-hmm.
You also have what's called low tolerance, and that doesn't mean that you don't tolerate. It means that if you walk into this room, you see all these little specks of dust on the floor that most people won't see.
Okay.
And so you're focused, and you're also self-reliant. It's I'm going to do it myself because I can do it better than you, and it's easier for me to do it than it is to try to show you how to do it because you're not going to do it right anyway.
Little bit.
Does that sound?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then put your hand up like this. Okay, now turn it around this way. All right. So you're not much of a risk taker. You pretty much play the odds, and you kind of, before you take a risk or you go out there and try. You can put it down.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Before you do that, you're going to weigh the options pretty much first, and you do not have a temper. You internalize some of the frustrations that you might feel, but you will never, unless you're really pushed to the limit, you will never let that out against another person. And the other thing is that most of your experiences come through your emotions. You feel this. I feel that. I feel like getting up this morning. I feel like going to lunch. I feel like doing this. It's not like I think I will go.
Right.
It's like I feel like this. And how you judge people by how they make you feel internally. Not, oh, they're funny, so they make me laugh. No, not that. But you pick up on people, and you know whether or not they're full of crap or whether they're good people. And you just instinctively know that, and you feel it, and you internalize that. So
I got a bonus today, folks.
So anyway, so as I was going through that's kind of what pushed me over into the experimental psych stuff. And I had a professor, and I said, look, I want to, you know what the Cattell 16PF test is, the personality trait test? Okay, so we had one of his classes take that test. All of the students take the test.
Okay.
And then I sat down for 5 minutes with each one of the students and did a personality reading on them. And then we compared the notes.
Okay.
And I was 97% accurate.
Wow.
And so that's how I got into the experimental psych side of it. And,
That's impressive.
And as my job or my vocation, I realized, because I was working while I was going to school, was in construction.
Right.
And I realized I could make more money in construction than I ever could as a psychologist hanging out a shingle. But that psychology helped me in my job.
Yeah.
Because most of the time my job was getting things done through other people.
Yeah. Psychology, honestly, should be the basis of every single career.
It really should, and not because it has all the answers, but it makes you think.
Yeah.
And it makes you ask questions. I had one professor that we learned this early in the semester is do not ever ask him a question, because he will spend the rest of the class time making you answer that question.
Oh,
and he, the Socratic method, I think is what they call, make you, keep asking you questions until you come up with the answer.
Okay.
And so that was a class that no one ever missed. I mean, it was fascinating. The guy was great. It was. Do you remember you probably ask your mom or dad about this. There was a movie called The Paper Chase, and it was about becoming an attorney, and it was about a Harvard law professor, and it was John Houseman, which was a big, heavy-set guy.
Okay.
That's what my instructor looked like. It always reminded me of him.
Okay.
So Sheryl wrote this book that we're going to talk about
which
now.
has some psychology in it.
So, what was the most fun thing you had writing this book? What was the thing that was like, oh, this is so much fun?
You know what? Learning about the companies that have really excelled because of the good that they've done.
Really?
Yeah, I learned about, and the one that comes to mind is Titos Vodka. And of course that's going to come to mind because he built up his business donating to animal rescues.
Right.
They didn't have a marketing budget. So instead of doing ads and getting on TV and all of that stuff, they donated product to animal events. And they spread the word that way.
So you could go to an animal event and get some free vodka?
Yes.
Awesome.
Exactly. And he built his company up through that. Now, not only do they still donate a product, but each of his employees gets a joy budget. And they are allowed to donate that money to whatever cause happens to be close to their heart.
Oh, wow, that is so cool.
Amazing, seriously.
Yeah.
Tito's would be my #1 vodka, not that I drink that much.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that John Paul DiGiorio, who's the co-founder of Paul Mitchell Hair Systems, he also founded a Patron. Oh, wait, that's tequila.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, Patron's tequila. Take my word for it.
Yeah. No, then we're good. He
'Cause I'm
founded
not a
that,
big vodka
and I love
guy.
him too. So.
But tequila's caused me some trouble, They used to say 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, floor. Yeah.
I think there's so much good out there in the world. And again, we're going through a hard time right now, and we're looking at the bad, and we're looking for the bad. But there's a lot of good being done in this space, in a lot of spaces. There's one bakery, I want to say it's called Greyston Bakery, and their slogan is, "We don't hire people to bake brownies. We bake brownies to hire people."
Oh, I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
There's just so much good out there. So for me, learning about all of these businesses and learning about the difference that they're making in the world just obviously lit me on fire.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. And I do have to just throw a shout out to a friend of mine.
Oh, please. That's why we're here, for you.
My friend Joe Wittenweiler, he's my brother from another mother. He agreed. He was so excited when I started talking about this concept, a year or two ago.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
It has. It's been a while. And he was so excited. He's like, "This sounds like a really good idea." And he goes, "I want to try it." He's a mortgage lender with direct mortgage funding.
Okay.
And he said, "You know what if every time I close a loan, I donate 5 pairs of shoes to this organization called Happy Feet?" It's a program through his Rotary. They give kids shoes and socks in Title I schools.
Wow, awesome.
And I was like, "That's perfect. Let's do it. Let's try it out, and I'll put you in the book." Yesterday or 2 days ago, he donated his 200th pair of shoes to kids.
Nice.
And his business is booming. There are 200 kids now that are walking around in comfortable, well-fitting, not destroyed, not embarrassing shoes. And next year, his goal is 300.
Wow.
So I am so proud of that because he actually took the principles, we worked it together, and he's kicking butt in his business, and he's making a difference in the community.
Yeah, we're going to talk more after this is over, because you know, and part of the problem is that as a business owner, number one, everybody that's involved in the business has to be on board.
Yes.
And they have to understand the value of that. And then number two is, how do you get started? You know, how do you know what to do? Where do you go? Do you just go out and say, hey, you know, any charities out here that need something? Or, you know, so those are the kind of things that I think are important. Is that in the book?
All of that is in the book.
Okay, I guess I got to read the book
Absolutely.
now.
No, you know what? I really wanted to take people through a very doable process.
Okay.
You know, from that very first, like, I want to make a difference.
And it's focused on small businesses?
Small business.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. The corporations know what they're doing. They have special people that are in charge of this. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to pretend to know what it's like to be in a corporate environment.
Right.
It's just not my, you know, not my ninja
skill.
So
let me ask this question. Do you, or have you thought about, or do you, like if a business comes to you and says, hey, I read your book, we want to hire you to help us do that. Do you do that kind of thing? Or cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to connect businesses with the nonprofits that they care about, that make sense for their business, and figure out, I will say, and you may have seen this, you know, working with PAPI Foundation, there's a lot of businesses and individuals that will come to you and say, I want to do this.
Right.
And you go,
that may not be what they need.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying, because you know, it's like, well, okay, yeah, I can offer this service. Well, we don't need that service.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really comes down to, what do you have to offer? What do they need?
Right.
Is it a good match?
Right.
And then let's talk about promoting it. Let's talk about shouting it from the rooftops, both the business and the nonprofit.
Right.
And let's get attention for it, get a buzz going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you enjoy doing that? And I mean, the mechanics of doing it, you know, sometimes, you know, I like doing this, this, and this, but this part I don't like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I love, you wouldn't guess
I know
it.
that was a stupid question because I know you.
No, you know, you wouldn't guess it because I started out this interview talking about killing people. But I really do like talking to people.
Right.
I really do like finding out what they care about and what lights them up, and matching them up, and you know, going through that process and seeing the end result of, did they make money for the charity?
Right.
Did they get awareness? Did they get volunteers? Did they rebuild a room, or whatever they did?
Right.
Seeing that finished product is so cool.
And I got all this stuff going on in my head because we have a number of shows here. We have show hosts that I can see getting involved in different areas or different businesses to not only help them as show hosts and promote their show and what they're doing, but also help the business. And so we're gonna talk.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this book, is that the response I've gotten from everybody that has read it, and I had a huge team of beta readers before I launched it.
Right.
The response from everybody has been, it got me thinking, and it laid out tangible steps, or you know, a tangible process that I can work with.
You're creating a win-win situation. You know, the business owner is getting something that they need, or they won't be doing it.
Right.
You know, and the charities are getting something that they need, and you know, that's what this is all supposed to be about. You know?
It's just working together and everyone benefiting.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
You heard that, right? So, how long did it take you to actually? I mean, you were. I know you've been working on this for like 2 years that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Because you were here. Has it been? Yeah, it's been 2 years ago almost.
Probably.
Yeah. Because it will be. We've been in this studio for 2 years, starting next week.
Okay.
We moved from the old studio over here the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
I did my last show over there the day before Christmas, and the first show here the day after New Year's.
Okay.
So you came in right after we had moved in here. Yeah. So
it most of the work went into researching.
Right.
Because like I said, I don't have 30 years of experience in this field.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a great concept, but if you don't have examples or can't say it worked for this business, it worked for that business, it worked for this business, here's how they did it, then it's just an idea that, hey, maybe this will work.
Yeah.
But you have proof in here that it does.
I do. I have proof from large businesses. I have proof from small businesses. I have proof from local businesses. You know, I spoke to At Your Service Pet Supply. Gina's a huge supporter of our rescue and always has been. And, you know, she talked about all the benefits that they have gotten from donating product, yes, but donating floor space. You know, having adoptions like PetSmart does. Yeah. She has adoptions in her stores as well. And the people that adopt, they tend to come back as customers.
Right.
You know, so.
Well, you get a good positive feeling by being somewhere.
Right.
And whether it's conscious or not, you want to go back there. And recreate that feeling. So, and there's you know, like if you go to a restaurant or whatever, and the food is pretty good, or maybe the food's okay, but the wait staff, you know, the waiter or waitress, is really nice, and it, you know, they can make or break your meal.
Yes.
And so you're going to go back there because, oh, I like that, you know, I went there and had a good time, and the food was good, and you know, and the waitress was good, and you know, and all that stuff. So, you know, and I always say I like doing business with people I like doing business with.
And that is one of the things I talk about.
Oh.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because, you know, as a business owner, that's one of the benefits is that you actually get to work with the people you want to work with.
Absolutely. And I have gotten to the age where I ain't working with them.
Exactly.
You know, these are the people I want to work with.
Yeah.
And the people that I work with here, I mean, are like my family.
Right.
I mean, we all try to help each other. We all try to, you know, support each other, and we're all working towards a similar goal. And I had one of the guys tell me today, he goes, you know, John, I love coming here. This is like a clubhouse, you know, because it just seems weird because it's like, okay, so I've got a show host here, and they've got a guest.
Right.
And so the guest is leaving, and the next show host is coming on, and they know each other.
Yeah.
And so it's been like really crazy like that because, you know, the 6 degrees of separation, I think we've got 2 degrees of separation from everybody here. And it's just, it's at my point in my life, I'm doing what I want to do. I love what I'm doing. You know, I'm never going to get rich doing this. Yeah. I don't care. You know, I've got something that I'm doing that I enjoy, and so I'm not in the casinos or the strip clubs or the bars or whatever, you know, and being drunk out on the sidewalk. So
that's fun too.
Yeah, it is.
Judgment.
But yeah, well, not anymore. It used to be fun, but I've gotten past that. So, right? Yeah, you know.
He's seen a lot, right? Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite part of the book? Is there one part of the book that this is the part that I really love?
There is, yes. So I actually do, there is a section for nonprofits. But that is not my favorite section. It's good, but my favorite section is where I talk about overhead. Because a lot of businesses, a lot of donors will go, well, how much is the overhead? And there's...
Wait. Are you talking about
for
the overhead of the... for the nonprofit.
Yes.
Yeah. How much goes into administrative? Yeah. Okay. I'm
because
sorry.
Because they only want to work with, you know, the nonprofit that's on a lean budget. 99.9% goes in. Okay. All that garbage. Can you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
So I started out a chapter saying, you know what, dear business owner, I have a great opportunity for you. I want you to come and work for me for 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, and I'm not going to pay you anything.
Yeah.
I want you to bring your employees over, and I'm not going to pay them either. I want you to do either without heat or without electricity or without a roof over your head while you're running your business. And the best part is it's all going to be okay. Because when you get your mortgage, you know, payment due in the mail, you're just going to write "I'm changing the world" on it and send it back. And as soon as you do that, they'll zero out your balance.
Right.
And you go to the supermarket and you hand them your "I'm changing the world" card, And not only do they zero out your grocery bill, but they give you a parade walking out.
That's brilliant.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Now, look, there are bad nonprofits out there, 100%. They're taking advantage. They're, you know, a shell company for something. It happens. However, you cannot expect any good to be done if people can't get paid.
Well, there are a lot of nonprofits that get grants, federal grants or state grants or something like that. But what people don't understand is that money is earmarked for a specific part of their business, whether it's utilities or salaries or whatever. That's all they can spend it on. So if you know they have other needs, they can't use that money. If they do, they'll go to jail. Right. So it's that's a great concept, though. That's awesome. Yeah. Because it's you know, I'm just as guilty. Right. You know, I want to know, okay, well, how much of your money goes to, you know, and I'm not, I mean, my feeling is 50-50, that's damn good, you know, because I know a lot of charities that are 90% administrative and 10% goes to, you know, whatever it is. But you still, they've got rent to pay. They've got utilities to pay.
It's a business.
They have, you know, take the rescues. They've got to feed the pets. They've got, you know, they have to clean the place up. And you know, volunteers are great, but you can't run a business on it. You know, not if you're serious about doing what you're doing. And so anyway,
and choosing a nonprofit to work with that claims to have zero overhead or, you know, says they don't take a salary or anything like that, that's dangerous for you. Right. You know, as a business owner, because that's not a viable nonprofit.
No, they're going to fail.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, there's no way they can be successful in that kind of a business model. So.
Yeah. So really about, you know, getting to know the people that you're going to be working with. And I hate to use the term, but know who you're getting into bed with. Yeah. You know, and that's from the nonprofit's perspective as well. Not every business is going to be a good fit for you.
Yeah, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean you give up.
Right.
Go to the next one. Yes. You know, it's like you may find a doctor that you don't like, so you go to another doctor, or, you know, you go on a date. You don't like this person, go on it, you know. But, so yeah, that makes sense, yeah. So if how would you suggest, in other words, I'll use us for an example. So, I mean, I already know some of the charities that I like working with, but if I didn't know, and I said, you know what, I don't know what's out there, I don't know, what should I do? How can I go about finding a charity or a nonprofit or whatever that would be a good fit for my business? How do I go about doing that? Do you explain that in the book?
I do. Okay. Yeah, I go into that. There are a couple of ways. There is a listing, you know, on the IRS website of all the nonprofits that exist.
Really?
And if you'd like your eyes to like liquefy and pour out of your head, I suggest going that route. Yeah. The easier one that I see, and honestly the better one, is ask around on Facebook. We have a poop scooping company that has worked with the rescue.
Oh, wow.
And the way that we found each other is they posted on Facebook and said, hey, we're looking to support an animal rescue. What are the good ones? Now, they've done two good things here. First of all, they're getting opinion.
Right.
So they're finding out who's got a good reputation. Right. But even more than that, they started cause marketing before they even started cause marketing.
Okay, explain cause marketing.
So cause marketing is really a business working with a nonprofit. Okay. It's selling, I like to say selling warm fuzzies instead of just widgets. Okay. Okay, there's more to what you're doing. It's not just I'm making money, it's also I've got a cause. Right. And they started that right away. We want to help a nonprofit. They're already getting that benefit of, hey, this is a good company to work with. Yeah. I want to do business with them. So they did a great job, and you know what? Our name came up a few times. It was one of the few moments that I happened to be on Facebook and I was tagged, and I got back to them in about 10 seconds. Yeah. And you know, we set up a meeting, they came, they saw what we were all about, it was a good match, and we went forward with it.
So my question is, knowing you, do you have any spare time? I mean, you're I mean, between the writing and the speaking and working with the Hearts Alive and some of the other stuff that I see you doing on social media, it's like, woman.
I'm working on the self-care. That's for 2020 is to actually have some time for me.
Because that's important.
It is.
It is.
Is.
You know, because you can't continue doing what you're doing if you are not taking care of yourself.
And thanks for saying that. Because as a business, if you're not making money and you're not talking about what you're doing and bringing in new customers, you can't keep helping.
Exactly.
So one of the reasons that it is good to talk about what you're doing so that you can help more.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Cool.
how I did that?
Yeah, that was great. I'm impressed. So let's talk about your public speaking. And what do you have specific subjects that you say, okay, I'm a speaker and I talk about this, this, or this? Or do you say, hey, what would you like me to talk about? Or
that's a dangerous slope. What do you want me to talk about?
Okay.
Because you know, you become the expert in nothing, and you know.
That's me.
Yeah, I already do enough that I don't need to start talking about other things.
The proper term for it is JOAT. J-O-A-T.
I've never heard of that.
Jack of all trades.
Oh, okay.
Master of none.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I try to stick in kind of the communication marketing area. So cause marketing, obviously, I love to talk about storytelling for business. And
I loved that.
Oh, good.
The storytelling for business. I thought that was great. Do you happen to know Tammy Felton?
Yeah. I was on a panel with her 2 months ago about storytelling.
Cool. Yeah. Tammy and I met because of a radio station.
Okay.
There was a radio station that we both used to listen to, and it was 97.1, The Point. And they had a Sunday morning jazz show.
Okay.
And I got to know the DJ, Rick, and his wife, Jackie. And so they were on Facebook doing the show, and, you know, we would call in, you get prizes and stuff like that, and got to know them. And Tammy was always on there making comments about the show, and I was always on there. And for a couple of years, we you know, we're friends on Facebook.
Right.
And then about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we met at an event that I had here that someone else was sponsoring.
Okay.
And so Tammy came in, she introduced herself, I'm Tammy Felton. I go, I'm Doug Styles. So, and I've had her in, and she had written a book about the stories as well. That's what made me think of that too. So, yeah, she's a sweetheart. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm lucky. I know a lot of really nice people.
Vegas is filled with them.
It is.
It's what you look for. If you choose to focus on the people, or you can choose to focus on the ones that are making a difference and really
and I don't think that the average person that comes here realizes how many really cool, good people there are here.
Yeah,
you know?
and that we're not all strippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Well, I got a chance to go to the UK a couple of years back, and my nephew said, you know, tell everybody you're a stripper. You're a male stripper. And so, you know, I'm from Las Vegas. Oh, what do you do? I'm a stripper.
Stripper, yeah.
And they'd get this look on their face. I said, yeah, I strip the paint off of the side of houses, and, you know. But, yeah, but it was a fun thing. So, but, yeah, funny you should mention that. So, and we all live in the casinos and, you know, eat in the restaurants and all that stuff. So.
Right.
All right, well, let's get back to the book. There is a couple of important concepts in here. The cause marketing is one. What is another one?
Important concepts besides cause marketing. I think, honestly, like I said in the beginning, the biggest thing that you need to realize is that I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm going to now. You don't have to wait until you're successful to start helping. There's this common misconception of you spend the first half of your life, you know, accruing wealth, and then after that, then you can, you know, be generous and you can give. Okay, I hopefully am have a little bit more left to the first half of my life. I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
Like, that just, to me, that sounds ridiculous. And it's like, you know what? You can do better because you're doing good. You look at businesses like Tom's Shoes. They built their entire business around when you buy a pair, we give a pair.
Wow.
They built a business, they built a tribe, they built a brand. And I know they're making some changes right now with, you know, how they structure their giving program. But ultimately, they're just another shoe company.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't had this giving component to it, who knows if they would have made it at all. I mean,
but I think that a lot of us, or a lot of the people that I know, if you are going to buy something, or you're going to go to dinner, or there was a group, I think they're still around. I think they were called VIP or something like that. And if you went to certain restaurants in town and told them, I'm a member of VIP, and they donated to Three Squares.
Yep.
You know, and so that was an incentive. If I'm going out to dinner, I'm going to go to one of these restaurants because I know that they will donate, you know, so many meals to Three Squares.
Yeah.
And I think that we all, most of us, like doing that, or if we're aware that if I'm going to buy this anyway, and if I buy this here or use this service, there's going to be an additional benefit to it. Amazon, I buy stuff on Amazon all the time, and you know, they've got that, you know, give or whatever.
Smile.
Smile. And so every time I buy something, PAPI Foundation gets a few pennies.
Right.
You know, and okay, a few pennies here and a few pennies there, and that adds up.
I think we just got $178 this week.
Wow, but see, that's awesome.
This quarter.
That's $178 that you didn't have before, and people just going, you know, hey, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it anyway.
I'm not going to quote statistics because I'm not going to quote them correctly, but most people will choose the product or the service that supports a cause over one that doesn't. And that number goes even higher when you're talking about millennials.
Yes.
And now, you know, Gen Z. They expect it. Like, it's not just like, oh, it would be nice if this company helped. They expect it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're seeing that more
but I think
and
that's
more.
Great.
It is. Oh, it's amazing.
You know, there's a lot of negative crap out there about millennials, but to me, that generation is the best generation I've seen, or the most positive, active generation I've seen since the 60s.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that they are going to be on the forefront of making the changes in this country that we think need to be made.
Yep.
And make fun of them all you want, because I know I'm from the 60s, and you know, I know all the fun that people made of us, but you know, we blew it. Hopefully the millennials won't, but so yeah, I'm very positive about them, and I love to see what they're doing. This Greta Thunberg,
I love her.
You know, it's like,
I know. What were you doing at, how old is she?
16.
16 now? Okay. Like, what were you doing at 16?
Getting high. You know, I mean, not really, but yeah.
Like, I was just worried about dating.
When I was 17, I went to Vietnam.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So you know, I mean, my uncle, you know, sent me over there. But the negativity that is aimed at her.
She's threatening.
Oh, it's like, I mean, this is what I see. I see that, okay, I've got mine, and you're threatening to take away, but not really. You know, it's like, hey, all I want is a sip from your cup. And you know, let's share this, and we can all, anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a...
No, it's I get it. I get it. I think the younger generations they have to fix this world because they don't have any other choices.
Yeah, we screwed it up.
So I mean, really, they have to.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing it.
So what else would you like to say about the book?
Okay, so I practice what I preach. 10% of every book sold and every speaking engagement I do goes to Hearts Alive Village.
Awesome.
Unless I happen to be on the road and borrowed a dog from another rescue, in which case it'll go there.
Okay, cool.
Wait,
you borrowed a dog from another rescue?
Yes.
When you're on the road?
I'm part of this.
Explain that.
I'm part of this conference called the Unstuck Happiness Conference.
Okay.
And it's a whole bunch of people that have gone through some sort of traumatic experience.
Right.
And we've overcome it, we've developed tools, and now we're helping the next person through theirs. And we were in Houston when I realized that I could do more than just share money. You know, not instead of, but in addition to.
Right.
I realized that I have a platform that I'm building, and I have an audience of people that are listening to me, like me or not, that I can share information with. So I reached out to Rockabully and Friends. I want to make sure I get that. I think it's Rockabully and Friends. I reached out to them.
Rockabully.
Rockabully.
Yeah, like pit bulls.
Yeah. They're in the Houston area.
Right.
And I said, hey, would you mind coming down just for like an hour, bring a dog? I said, I will donate whatever I can to you. I said, but I want to give your dog some attention and your rescue some attention. And they were super excited for it. The timing worked out perfectly. They sat in the back of the room while I did my speech. I was the closing keynote. And at about 5 minutes to the end, I was talking about passion and about finding what you're passionate about in your life. And I invited Portia, was her name. She came up on stage, and of course, everybody in the audience just, she was amazing. She did such a good job up there. And I said, the dog, yeah. And I said, there's ways to help this rescue. There's ways to help this dog. And, I went through the different ways to get involved.
So you're speaking to a group in Houston.
Yes.
That are all from Houston.
Yes.
And this is a local rescue from Houston.
Yeah. And
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's a great idea.
Houston's been through enough.
Yeah.
I figured, let's see if we can get them some help.
That's a brilliant idea.
At the end of that speech, I had a line waiting at my table because I told them, a percentage of my Surviving to Thriving book would go. I had a line waiting to buy my book. There was a line waiting to talk to the volunteers. And there was a much longer line, of course, waiting to love on the dog, which is totally fine. But they got some volunteers out of it. I sent them home with a percentage of what I made, and I sent them home with a couple of books to auction off.
That is so cool.
So it's just like, again, it's a win-win. Like, there are people in that audience that wouldn't have purchased my book.
Right.
But knowing that
or would not have even thought about helping a local rescue.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was super, super cool.
So do you try to do that at all of your speaking engagements?
It's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to depend on the venue and the meeting planner, but yeah, I have a way to sneak them in there, so.
So do you have any engagements coming up here that you can talk about?
If I had looked at them before I came on, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be doing 2 things for SCORE. So I'll be doing, I think, a workshop on
the small
storytelling.
business?
Yes,
yeah.
I'll be doing a workshop for them in January, and then I'll be doing like a short keynote for them in November on cause marketing.
Okay, cool.
So couple of months off. But
awesome.
Yeah, and always looking for speaking engagements. So any associations that think they could benefit from this, which would be all of you, I'd love to talk.
And the one question I wanted to ask is, so what's the next book you're working on?
It's a really good question. It's a very good question. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not working on it yet.
Okay.
The fiction, the serial killer book I was telling you about, I'm going to send.
I'm dying to read that.
It's so good. I mean, it needs work, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a mystery. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's my usual level of snark.
Oh, good.
So that's going to go to a developmental editor so we can kind of work out the kinks. I'm not sure about the nonfiction book. There will be one this year. One of the things I'm toying with is kind of the lessons that I've learned in animal rescue and how that can be applied to business and to life. Really.
That would be cool. Yeah.
So we'll see. It's coming.
Nice. Shut up.
That was the phone, not me.
Yeah. No. You can keep talking. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up though. But listen, I'm so glad that you were able to come out today. I appreciate it. And anytime you're welcome here. If you've got an event or whatever you want to promote, pick up the phone, call me, come on in, we'll help you promote it. But PAPI Foundation is still my number one kind of,
and that's cool.
Yeah, no. I mean,
that's great.
and I love. You got a great setup over there. I've been in there 3 or 4 or 5 times now, I think. One of the things was over there is that if I'm not mistaken, if you buy pet food in there, you don't have to pay tax on it.
Yeah.
That is correct?
We're a 501c3, so your phone makes very odd noises.
That's the Doctor Who theme.
Yeah. As a 501c3, we're not required to charge sales tax.
Okay.
So anything you buy in there is
tax-free.
Tax-free, and the money goes back to support the rescue.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's cheaper than most places.
Yeah, and like I say, you've got pet food, you've got toys, you've got beds, you've got all kinds of stuff over there. And what's the address?
And you might even find a certain book for sale there if you needed it. Yes.
Awesome. That's great.
So it's at 1750 South Rainbow
1750. I knew it was
Boulevard.
17 something.
Yeah.
And it's right about Rainbow and
just south of Charleston.
Just south of Charleston.
Rainbow and Oakey.
Right,
basically.
there you go. Okay, I remember it now. I know how to get there because I just drive there. But so anyway, also for everybody out there, I will be doing a book signing at Barnes & Noble over on Rainbow.
You wrote a book?
No, I just go there and sign books.
I love it.
If you buy a book,
do that. Yeah,
stop at my table and I will sign it for you. Any book that you buy, any book at all.
Especially one about penguins.
And if you if you buy one of Sheryl's books,
you're gonna have to buy it elsewhere because it's not at Barnes & Noble
no,
yet.
But if you buy it, call me. I will come over and sign it as well.
Will you put the paw print on there that I do?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
I have 3 cats and a dog.
Okay.
And all of they're all rescues, and just I have one cat that I have to tell this story. I'm sorry, Nan. We had a neighbor across the street. They had 3 cats, 2 little bitty kids, and a pit bull. And Nan was an older cat, probably 10, 11, 12 years old, and they were going to be out of town for a week, and they said, hey, would you guys come over, feed the animals, blah, blah, blah. We're taking the dog with us, but we're going to leave the cats, and we'll take the kids and the dog, but we'll leave the cats. So we went over there, and they said, by the way, we have one cat that lives under the bed in a master bedroom. She never comes out. And I'm going, are you kidding me?
Bed cat. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we go over there, and I think it was like the 3rd day, she finally came out, and she came to the top of the stairs, and she was kind of looking around, and well, what happened was the poor thing was traumatized from the kids and the dog, and she was scared. And so when they came back, I said, man, let us take the cat for a week, see if maybe, not being around the little kids and the dog and all that stuff. I mean, our dog's a little Portuguese water dog, So anyway, so we took her home. I took her home and kept her in my bedroom for a couple days, and then opened the door and then let her get to know the other cats. And so we've had her about 6-7 months now, and she is just I had to Google this because I was worried about her. When you pet her, she drools. And she just starts drooling, and she's purring like crazy. And so I thought, oh my God, she's sick. I got to take her. And I Googled it.
Yeah.
And that is a thing with cats, that they if when they're being petted or they being affectionate, they're in such a blissful state that they will start drooling.
Interesting.
And it blew my mind. I didn't
Never
know
seen
this
that.
because that's the only time she did it is
Right.
when she was getting petted and you know, if you were kind of holding her or whatever. And it's like, it was such a small thing, but for this cat,
Yeah.
and to see her interacting with our other cats and our dog and us and it's just like, you know, the thing about, you know, for you, they're part of your life, but you're their whole life.
Yeah,
And
that's not a
it's
small
just
thing
it's
for
just
her.
awesome, and I guess that's why I like the animal rescues, and I got a soft spot in my heart for that because
Right.
they can't do for themselves what we can do for them.
Yep, we have to
And
be their
anyway, so
voice.
sorry, but
Yeah.
so now I embarrassed my cat. So
I think the cat will let it slide.
I
Yeah.
do too. Yeah. So, but it's just you know, it's just you learn things about animals after
Right.
having them that you never knew. So.
So did you write a book, or are you really signing other people's?
No. I just go inside. I didn't
I
write a
love
book.
it.
I just go and sign other
Yeah.
people's books, and
That's
the first couple
fantastic.
times they threw me out.
Right, but now
But-
they, you know,
yeah,
they
but
just
then
accept
I
you.
told them I'd give them a percentage of whatever I got for tips, and they.
You can sign my book anytime.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Sheryl, thank you again
Thank
for coming
you.
in. I'm excited to read this. Is there anything, any last words or anything that you want to say or tell people out there? Or how can they get a hold of you?
That's a great question. So if you go to dogoodtodobetter.com, that is the landing page for this book.
Oh, cool.
You can download a couple of chapters for free, see if you like my sense of humor. If you don't, I don't trust you.
If you don't, you are one sick bastard.
If you don't like animals,
Yeah.
But download a couple of chapters for free. You can also, there's links to the book on Amazon, or you can buy it directly from me if you want it signed, and I can get John to sign it as well. You can go to the Adoption Center as well and buy
Okay.
a copy there.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
The book sells on Amazon.
Yes.
And also on your website. When it sells on Amazon, do they take a percentage?
They do.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Best,
So
best
go
to buy
to her
from me.
website
Please.
to buy this book.
Yeah, the rescue will get more if you come to
Right.
me.
Yeah.
And you get it signed, and that's going to be worth something
Right.
someday.
No, that's true.
But yeah, you can get the digital copy on there as well, if you prefer Kindle, whatever.
What about, and this is something I've gotten into recently, and it's only because I spend a lot of time going back and forth in the
I
studio.
haven't done an audiobook yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
haven't. If you pay me enough, though, I will drive around in your car with you, and I will
And read the book in the back seat?
to you.
That would be so awesome. and I will get somebody to film it.
That would be perfect. Yes. No, you know, I just haven't even tackled
No.
audiobooks
I had just
yet.
wondered if you had even
One
had
day.
any thoughts or
Yeah.
because I know that there are services that you can go to, but you that they will. They either, in other words, you either have to pay them,
Right.
or they take a percentage of the sales.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I love books. I
Mm-hmm.
love reading. I always have. I've always had 2 or 3 or 4 books going at the same time. But it's just nice having. There's some old books that I wanted to reread, and then I discovered them at the library
Yep.
on tape, so I, can listen to them in the car, going back and forth, and that's even cooler. So. Anyway.
One
so-
day, but not yet.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, you got to, when you have this whole library and somebody's going to come to you and say, we want to put these on audiobook and we'll pay you this much money.
Yes. Yeah, keep that coming.
That's right. And
Yeah.
then you can donate, to
Yes.
the rescues. So.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
See, that's a great idea.
What?
You can get one of these audiobook companies,
Okay.
right, to donate their time to you to put these on audiobooks that will then benefit one of the rescues.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Any audiobook companies out there?
Yeah. I'll send you some names.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
No, that'd be great.
Anyway, so go ahead. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, that's it. Check out the book. It will help your business. It will help the community, and you'll laugh your butt off while you're reading it, because that's my goal with every book.
There you go. What are
So-
the other 3 books?
So I've got book writing for busy people, which your friend might enjoy since
Right.
he's not getting his book written. I've got
I'm going to have to get that for
well,
me.
it's good.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Bottom Line, Harnessing the
that.
Power of Storytelling in Sales. And my first one was Surviving to Thriving, How to Overcome Setbacks and Rock Your Life.
That took a lot of courage to write that book. I know, and that's I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you.
When you first said, I'm writing this book and I've got it done, and it was like, wow.
Yeah, a lot of vulnerability in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, I believe we're here to help others, and my story, the crap I've been through, it can help somebody else in their time of need, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and I've got to make this comment.
Yeah.
This is the happiest I've seen you, probably since I've known you.
Thanks.
I mean, you radiate that.
Thank you.
This is really cool. I like what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm happy where I'm at.
You know what? It's so exciting to be able to feed two birds with one scone.
Yeah.
You help the business, you help the nonprofit. Like it's exciting. It's an exciting time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to
Awesome.
take your advice. Cool. So, anyway, thanks again, guys. We really appreciate your support here at WWDB-TV. We love having you coming back, and we have reached 1,025,000 viewers.
Wow.
Just in the last, we broke 1 million in early November.
If every one of those people buys a book, then we can really help out the rescue.
That's
I'm
right.
just saying.
So all of our viewers out there, I'm tasking you with buy this book. And remember, if you're going to do it with styles. Thanks, everybody.
Nice work, John.